Hey everyone, this is Austin Schur here with We Write About Music, and today I'm speaking with Dave, who is much better known as JUSTDAVEthe1. He's got an all-new record out called Keep Building, and I'm super excited to talk to him about it. Dave, I want to thank you so much for coming on today. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing so good. Really, really glad to be here. Thanks.
Happy to hear it. Where are you?
I'm living out in Victoria right now. It's
Nice.
snowing, but yeah, hopefully it'll be gone soon.
Hopefully keeping warm and
Yeah,
inside if possible. That's
yeah.
awesome, man. Cool. Well, let's, I didn't bring you on to talk about the weather. I brought you on to talk
Nope.
about this killer record. I have a million questions for you, but the first thing that I really want to talk about is the lyricism on it. First off, everything sounds fantastic. It's truly a record
Thank
that
you.
thinks outside of the box. But I want to know what it's about. Is there like an overarching message, or does each song kind of break down its own story? How does it work?
Yeah. So the title of the building, if you think what it takes to build a house, can't really stop anywhere along the way. You have to keep building till it's done. I'm a carpenter myself. I've done a lot of carpentry work. I've built a tiny home actually. That's it's slightly functional as just a shelter, but it takes a lot of work from the ground up. So I kind of put that concept of building a house compared to building yourself,
Sure.
also compared to building a community, building relationships with people. So building a life worth living. It's all about like what you want to build for yourself.
Totally.
And
I love that. I love that it's not just like your average hip hop record where, people
yeah,
talk about nothing and it means nothing. No, this one actually goes deeper and is contextually
yeah.
sound.
Lots of people try to go for a relatable vibe, but then they end up just being really toxic in what they say. And I try to
Yeah.
stay away from that and try to be more positive with everything I say in all my music and stay away from those negative trends.
I
So yeah,
appreciate that. And also the
yeah,
fact that you're talking from personal experience is a huge thing. I think
yeah.
there's so much music out there nowadays that is just like manufactured stories in order to like get the
It's
clicks and get people
rented
talking. But like
personalities. Yeah,
exactly, that I've never heard of that actually. That's actually a really
just
good
came to me.
way, a really good way to put it. Yeah, no, I fully agree, and it's a bunch of crap in my opinion. So I thank you
Yeah,
for keeping it real and for actually making something
really.
that
I
means something
appreciate
real.
the feedback and the admiration for music that's like that because that's really what I'm aiming for is to
Totally.
give people who have not had a positive experience with hip hop, give them a
Right.
positive experience because
Right.
they hear the word hip hop and they think all these negative things and they just don't want to listen to it. And I'm like,
Typically,
wow, that's not fair, you know. So
you're right.
yeah,
Putting the message aside for just a moment, the production on the record is fantastic as well. I will give the warning for anyone who's about to listen to
nice,
actually listen on a pair of headphones to not
yeah,
miss out on the subtleties.
or in the
So,
car.
yeah,
It's
or in the
either
car, just cranked up as loud as possible,
yeah.
bordering on blowing your speakers out. Did you have any outside help putting this together, or is this all you?
Well, the main objective was in the vision of the album, keep building to from the ground up. You can look at the first three tracks. It's
Sure.
groundwork, water it well, and keep building. So that kind of speaks to the motto of where I started from. And the other half of it was that I had this opportunity to work with all these artists that I was reaching out to when I was building my SoundCloud following.
Sure.
So I had dozens of artists that I were just like, all I did was ask them for feedback. That's all I
Yeah.
did. And they were like, dude, you got really good stuff. And then I followed up with a question of collab. And they're like, yeah, most of them wanted to collab. So I realized I could put together an album and keep building is what happened from that. So, and it's volume one. So I hope to do another one.
That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, obviously there's some fantastic collabs and this and that, but it really is as
Yeah.
simple as just sending a message and
Yeah.
simple
All of
happening.
them just had beats that they were like, yeah, I like the beat. They're willing to give it to me. So most of
Oh,
them, I didn't even have to pay them. They were willing to
I
just give
love
it
it.
to me.
All right, so all in all, how long did this take to put together from start to finish?
I've moved on to a lot of projects now, so I couldn't really tell you exactly, but over the course of 6 months,
Wow. Okay.
yeah, it was I really how it started was I was kind of building my following on SoundCloud, and then
Of course.
I injured myself. I cut my finger open in
Oh,
carpentry. I
jeez.
planed it open. It was really tragic. I screamed really bad. It was
I'm
yeah,
sure of it.
yeah. But anyway, I ended up having 2 weeks off or more, and I was just at home doing
Mhm.
whatever on paid leave. So I ended up having this chance to build this album. That's where it started.
Wow.
So, and that was back uh, early spring, I think.
Okay.
late winter this last year. So over the
Now,
summer, we're just putting it together.
are you the type of artist that's always working on the next thing?
Oh yeah, like
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I'm trying to release a lot of projects in the next year, so I won't give a
Very cool.
number to it right now. But
Okay, and that's totally fine. And obviously, I want to keep the focus on this record, but
Mhm.
I also want to, poke a little bit and say, are you going to be looking to experiment within your sound and keep it collab heavy?
Yeah, that's what this album was. It was a test of that. Like all the production was done myself, so
Got
like
it.
I did the mixing and the mastering and making all the songs sound
Nice.
perfect, and all the production on the beats per se, like the composing of the instruments,
Sure.
that was done by the beat makers. So um, yeah.
That's nuts, dude. I give you all the credit in the world because I mean, I speak to a lot of people about their music, and it's like, yeah, I put the songs together, and then I hired a team of 10 to finish it up. I'm like, oh, okay,
No,
cool.
I do most of the stuff for myself, and I do
That's
stuff for friends as well. So it's
incredible.
busy.
Is it? How do you even like attempt to learn something like that? Is it
Oh, it
YouTube
takes.
videos? Is
It
it?
started as a hobby, right? So
Yeah,
I'm just pittering around. Like my first 50 tracks that I ever tried to make weren't worthy of anyone really thinking they were good. I think like they
you
were
can
just kind
admit
of
it to yourself.
mediocre, right?
Solid.
But
Yeah,
once you find out what is mediocre, then you have something to work with. Of like you can pick out parts you like and pick parts you do like, and then eventually, when you get to the point where you have one track that you're like, wow, this is good, and then you have people that you know that tell you it's good, and then you have people that you don't know telling you it's good. Then you have a benchmark track that you can start using as a like, oh, I can make tracks that are kind of similar to this in quality. So
good
it's
for
just a
you.
matter of getting to that point.
That's incredible. What did you find like the hardest part of the entire process to be?
On this album specifically,
Yeah, I
the
mean,
hardest.
even just from like the process of creating these songs to like the lyricism to the production to the mixing, just like anything in
Well,
the middle of having
honestly, I
I
love the
hate this
entire
part.
process. I love the entire process, start to finish.
Okay,
Really, virtually everything. Just because I realized after this project and some others at the same time I was working on that this is what I want to do for my living. I want to build
sure.
projects from the ground up. Like I have this idea and I want to build it and make it good and help other people build their ideas. So that being said, the hardest part was really just communicating with the different artists. Some of them weren't
Really?
available for weeks at a time, and I wasn't sure if they were going to be good. So some tracks were on the album, then weren't, and then were, and then so it kind of it changed along the way. It was a journey, but really at the end of it all, I didn't really hate it. I don't hate any
Of
part of
course
it. It's
not.
just part of the journey.
No, you know what? I would have never thought about that, but I guess that's sort of the best part of being a solo artist is you
Yeah.
make all the decisions. It's all you, and then you when you bring someone into the mix from the outside and you start relying on them, then things can be complicated.
Yeah, for a couple of the tracks specifically, like I knew some people personally as friends from my home city, and I tried to really be more involved with the production process with them and really give them input on how their verse sounded and how the whole song sounded for us together, rather than just taking their verse and just popping it in there.
Got it. Now, I know that a lot of these beats, were from outside sources,
Yeah.
but obviously there's something that got you into music as far as like inspirations and influences. Do you take anything that you grew up with or even, listening to as of recently and try to like put the essence of that in what you're making now?
Yeah, like the whole essence of why I started making music was
Hmm.
it was self-therapy. Like I honestly, I wish there's part of me wishes I could go back a bit to the times when I was just rapping alone in my dad's shop
Yeah.
when there's no farm equipment at my dad's farm shop. It's just like a big echo chamber. So I was just rapping as if there were people around me, but there
Damn.
wasn't. And but at that time, if anybody walked in, even my mother, I'd just be like, oh, just get all shy right away. So
I get
but
it.
there was a part of it that was really exhilarating when I could just be myself by myself. And now it feels like more of a process where I'm actually practicing for an actual show someday because I've done shows and I've done open mics, and so it's more of a career less than a hobby now. But that's how it started, right? It was me just being self-therapy and trying to get stuff off my chest and speaking it out loud and
Totally.
instead of keeping it inside. So I wrote a lot of poetry, I called it, and it turned into rap. And that's how it started too. Early on in my life, was I was into poetry. My mom was a professional singer, and
Oh,
I was
wow.
around music my whole life. Like it was a church vibe most of the time. Like I went to church and had gospel songs sang every Sunday,
That's some
but
influence for sure.
but my mom was a really good singer, and
Yeah.
she instilled in me this kind of like, if I ever heard a song, I could tell if it was good or bad, and I knew what good or
Yeah.
bad it was. It's because she studied, like she's got a master's degree for this stuff. So
Got to get her on a track. What are you waiting for?
yeah, we're trying to get one together.
Really? Oh, dude, that would be
Yeah,
awesome. I'm sure she'd
yeah,
love it.
yeah.
That'd be amazing.
We have one where she's back up on it, actually. It's on Spotify.
There you go. Now, man, she's got to be front and center. She's your mom. She raised you. And you need to get her in there.
I agree. It's
Um,
something we're looking forward to.
was there one thing specifically that kind of like pushed you over the edge to take this seriously? You know what I mean? Like it kind of sounds like you've always
I
taken
can
it
answer
seriously.
that.
Yeah, please.
As soon as you said that, yeah, I was kind of taking it seriously in my mind.
Sure.
I felt like I had an opportunity in Toronto to record some songs,
Okay.
and I brought them back. And I was like, I had these benchmark tracks, like I was talking about, right? So I could start making more. And I started to put up more material, but then it felt like I wasn't really going anywhere with them. And all of a sudden, I'm building my Instagram and just doing my thing. And I meet my girlfriend that I'm dating now, and all of a sudden, I get this message from this organization called Raw Artists Canada. They do international shows,
Okay.
and I didn't know, I didn't heard of them before. And at first, I thought it was a scam, so I didn't know it was real. And then all of a sudden, time goes by, and they assure me it's real, and they want me to do a show in Regina, which is like a few hours away from my home city, and it's for like hundreds of people, like, and I've never done a show before,
Yeah, that's
like that big
overwhelming.
ever. Like no more than 5 people have I done a show for.
Sure.
So I'm like, I'm just, my brain's twirling, and I'm just like, well, this, if they want me, like they basically assured me, like the kicker for me, you asked me that question, and the moment for me when I switched from like amateur to like, oh, I'm taking this seriously, is the moment when they basically told me that there was a group of people, like the person that I was talking to and a few other individuals in a room looking at me amongst a bunch of other artists and be like, yeah, we want that guy to perform at our show. For them to tell me that was
Me?
like, and I was like, what? Like for them to actually communicate that to me, it's like have that image in my head of people in a room picking me above other people.
It's
like,
nuts.
whoa, finally breakthrough. So, you know, that was like the breakthrough event. I got to perform in front of a bunch of people, and it was like, I felt like I kiboshed the event a little bit, but like I performed my ass off. Everyone loved it, you know, like there was some things that I could have done better, sure, but it was an amazing event, and it really pivoted my career in a way that pushed it forward. Yeah. So it's been great ever since that.
I think every artist needs an ego boost at some point to like, because making music can be so insular, you know what I mean? Like you got headphones on, you got your head down, you're trying to do stuff, but you realize like there are people out there that actually listen to your music and they want to see you, perform. So dude, that's amazing. That's a great story.
Yeah, it was. I get a little like short of breath thinking about
totally.
it.
And I know touring right now or any shows in any capacity is up in the air again, which sucks. But do you have any plans to get out there, or are you currently out there?
Yeah, we're hoping to do some exploring here and move around from where we're living now.
Yeah, that's tough.
Getting our way back home, we're going to do some stuff in the summer in Saskatchewan, but move our way across BC a little bit and make some more connections.
There you go.
Actually getting an RV.
Very cool.
just as a segue into like how we're moving around, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be good to be able to do that, and as well, live shows is just a new method, right? So I'm going to try and do that more.
I know.
More of an online presence.
Right, and I know it's so tough, especially Canada has been back and forth with the live shows and things are shutting back down. I just hope the best for this new year in terms of touring. Like artists everywhere need to get out there and do what they got to do.
Lots of outdoor shows are happening. So
yeah, that's good.
That's the main thing.
That's awesome. Okay, hypothetically speaking, dream collaboration if you had to pick someone to feature on a track or maybe get on the production, something along those lines.
My friends always ask me this, and I'm shy to ask. It's a big question. There's a lot of artists out there, but like, someone that is more wholesome would be someone I want to look to. So recently, like, I listen to a lot of music.
Yeah.
And for me to answer that question is a little hard, but like, I'll just
You know what? There are no rules here. It doesn't have to be one person.
Yeah, I know. Like the kind of artists I listen to are like NF. That's like a huge one. But,
yeah.
Other artists are like. Oh, it's hard when you're on the spot. It's hard. I'd have to even just go to my. Like I listen to the new Nas album. I love all cultures of music.
Solid
really.
producer.
Like it's if it's good, I'm listening to it, right?
Sure.
And even if the good music has bad vibes in it, like my girlfriend hates that I listen to gangster rap, but I don't listen to it because it's gangster rap. I listen to it because the guys are actually flowing really nicely and poetry and wordplay. So that's kind of what I'm listening to it for.
Nice.
I listen to good music, and I'm up to collab with anyone talented. I'm always excited when anyone that wants to collab with me, even if they're amateur. I'm always looking for the best in people.
Yeah, man. Artists need to build each other up.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, one more hypothetical question for you. We are filming this right at the end of the year. We got a few more days left in 2021. I want you to put yourself in future you's shoes a year from now. In a perfect world, what would you like to accomplish in the next year?
Well, that's great. I actually have asked myself that question and wrote down some goals.
Good.
I want to release 5 more albums on top of Keep Building between.
In a year?
I started this goal in September, so technically 9 months. But I've got the plan, like it's there, right?
If you've got the material.
I've got the material and then some. So that's why people think it's a heavy goal, but for me, it is achievable. And that, on top of that, I want to make my money, make my music monetized at least within another 6 months or a year to actually start making like 1,000 or so per month.
Totally.
If I had $500 per month for my music, that'd be like freaking awesome. That means I'm actually being heard like a decent amount, right?
Right.
And on top of that, there's this show called Colors Show.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard about it.
I have not.
Like they showcase artists, and they're always solo artists usually, and the room is just one color, and they're inside this one room with a mic. And like I've seen Mac Miller on there, and I've seen Jacob Banks.
Awesome.
Bunch of other artists on there that showcase, and I've seen artists that I think are not as good as me on there. So like I can get on there, like right, like
it's all about confidence, man.
But those 3 things are the big things for me. So.
Hell yeah. Okay, how about this then? How about non-musical goals? Like, how do you plan on bettering yourself personally in the next year?
Yeah, better routines, really. I have the kind of routine written down and set out for myself, but I'm not following it. So I need to get better at that.
You got 3 more days.
Yeah.
Figure
make this resolution.
There you go. You'll figure it out.
Thing, yeah.
Nice. All right. Because we're a music blog and we're always trying to put people onto what they should be checking out, was there anything on your playlist this year that you would love for people to check out, or even local artists that you're working with that you can also give shout out to?
Yeah, I actually represent a group called Inventive Collective. I'm one of the founding members. We're Saskatchewan based, but I'm living in Victoria right now, just kind of scouting connections and networking.
Sure.
So, excuse me, I'm making sure that we put what we're trying to do on the map as a community, not a label, not a group, not a band.
Sure.
We're a community. We want a collective of people that are trying to build towards a common goal and build each other up. And on top of that, the Keep Building album specifically is a workout playlist. So all the songs on there are designated to make you feel better, make you feel inspired, make you
pump you up.
And it's actually they're ordered in a very specific way too. So if you listen to them with the intent of it being a journey to better yourself, then it really brings you through that kind of experience. And I think I have a playlist that's public on my Spotify that has a few of those songs from the album on it. That's all workout related songs. So it's actually a more extended workout playlist. So if you want to listen to my stuff plus some other people's stuff that I know and some other good stuff that I like on that playlist. That would be the playlist of the year, I would say. So
sweet.
Listen to that. Keep building.
Send it over.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool, man. All right, I've got one more question for you at this point. Basically, what I want to know is for the person that is going to discover you from this, and for the person that's going to listen to your music for the first time, what is an opening message that you'd like to say to them?
Wow, that's a really good question. Um, if you're listening to my music, I hmm, wow, that's got me. If
Take your time, no rush.
yeah, if you understand my artist name, all my tracks make a lot more sense in remembering them. You need to judge no one, unify yourself, speak honestly, try always, do good, ask anything, value life, and embark bravely. You can pick any one of those individually if you want, but they're all conducive to a healthy lifestyle. And that's why I wrote my music. I want to share that with people and know and give you a positive experience with it.
I love that. Thank you. That is exactly the answer I was looking for. And Dave, I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to do this right at the end of the year. It means a lot.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. For everyone else out there, the record is called Keep Building. We'll have links so that you can listen and send it to your friends and do all that good stuff. But sounds like Dave's got a big year ahead of him and some lofty goals. So I'd say definitely follow along to see how it all pans out.
The album will be redistributed
Cool.
amongst the new distributor, but it will be the same songs, and you'll be able. It's just more updated, so the artists will be there and listed instead of in the credits. Um, and and yeah, on January 9th, that's when the redistribution happens. So, but you can listen to it now. It's still up on Spotify.
Awesome. Dave, thank you so much for your time, man. I look forward to speaking soon, and I hope you have a great rest of your day today.
Yeah, you too. I'm really
Take
glad I
care,
got
man.
this opportunity. See ya.
Absolutely. Talk to you later. Bye bye.
Bye.